Greetings, greetings. Welcome, all of our listeners. We are back with episode 3 of the First Born Daughters podcast. I have a very, very special guest online today, Miss Nya Perkins. We met, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think exactly which wellness space we met in, but we met in a wellness space.
Definitely.
The Divine Feminine Reiki.
Yeah, for the all three, the conjunction.
So
Yes.
we and Nya connected via a wellness space. One of my partners that I work with in the wellness space who does sound bathing. She had came from one of her sound baths previously, and we connected from there. And then we retreated together.
Yes.
As we were just connecting over the weekend, we connected in so many different ways. I think in ways beyond what we were expecting, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that even after that point that we were going to be able to commune together again.
Yes.
So it's been super, super exciting for me to have her in my space again, back on this podcast. And Nya has her own podcast. It's called Motions the Podcast. So I'll make sure I'll link those things, whichever way you're seeing this platform, whether you're listening via Spotify, whether you are on iHeartMedia, or whether you're watching this on YouTube. We will make sure that you get connected with her. But introducing the Nya Perkins. Nya, tell us just a little bit about yourself. Tell us your connection to being a firstborn daughter. And then, just kind of tell us a little bit about how your journey to wellness has been, like your walk as a daughter and as a mother.
Yes, my name is Nya. I am 28 years old. I am new to walking into my purpose. I am an aspiring entrepreneur, and I am a wellness advocate in real life. So my connection to firstborn daughters, I am the eldest on my father's side. I'm the second to youngest on my mom's side, but honestly, I feel as though I am the oldest because my older two siblings, neither here, neither there, but it really wasn't a older sibling type of vibe. I used to feel as though I needed to be the person that my younger siblings needed. And I felt like I needed to be that person that they can lean on, when in all actuality, I couldn't even lean on myself. I was still building. I'm still building myself. I now have a 2-year-old son. So I had to step out of the mindset of believing that I needed to be someone that these people looked up to, these little people looked up to. And honestly, I just needed to be myself. I don't have a relationship with my mom anymore. And honestly, it's lonely out here because I don't have a mom. Like, I don't have a mom. I do have my grandmother who pretty much raised me. I want to say from like the 2nd grade until the 6th grade, I lived with her. So I lived with her for quite some time. But yeah. So I am guiding myself with the help of community. That's the space that I am in life right now.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being vulnerable. I know we also connected in that way. My mother is in my life, but it is a very strained relationship that I currently remain in therapy to be able to maintain in a healthy way, because it is not traditional. There's a lot of healing that's never really going to end because of the way that her lifestyle is, and she's gone through her own firstborn eldest daughter story, why she has decided to live the life that she lives. And I think why it was so important for me to have voices like yours on this platform is because our mothers, majority of them didn't really have the tools to do what we're doing right now. And so it's important as a generational curse breaker, like you said, to be able to identify where our triggers come from, identify the parts of us where we may be overextending, again, like you said, needing to be what your younger siblings needed because maybe our parent figures weren't able, because not just moms, it's dads.
It's dads,
but they may not have been able to give. And most of the time that eldest daughter steps in and says, I'm going to do it. Somebody has to do it, so I'm going to do it. Then, like you said, we go into adulthood with these complexes and these beliefs about ourselves and these expectations that aren't really real, that we created because we're trying to bring the safeness and the healing into our family lineage. But the way to really break the curse and the way to shift out of it is to completely remove yourself from the role that you created out of survival mode and fully walk in your authenticity. So I feel like just you expressing your connection to it is like literally foreshadowing what this episode is all about. And it is about feeling secure in your identity. It's about pushing past any shame or discomfort we may have experienced from upbringings or just different things we've learned from being humans on this earth, and fully learning how to really let the law of attraction work for ourselves so that we can build authentic community, authentic connection, and contentment with who we are. So thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me. That was beautifully said.
So with that being said, we're going to kind of roll into our episode, which is called Connecting and Content. And we talk about contentment, not just accepting and being satisfied with whatever, not being a place of stagnancy. I think a lot of people associate that word with that. But I like to think of contentment as just a satisfaction of where you are, and also knowing what is to come.
Yeah.
So a major part of being able to be content is actually knowing who you are, loving who you are, and being secure in your identity. So I wanted to ask you, Nya, has walking in your true authentic identity, because I know you're kind of in that phase now where you're like fully coming out of whatever shell you thought you were supposed to be in and walking as who you want to be now. Is it easy for you? Do you experience any struggles behind that currently? And what do you practice to empower you to keep showing up as that way?
Oftentimes, I do struggle with being my authentic self because when I was younger, people would say, oh, you talk like a white girl, or you act so stuck up, or you're weird. They would call me weird. They would call me bougie, or whatever the case is. Like just doing something that you truly want to do, or saying something that you truly want to say, talking how you truly want to talk. Sometimes you can just have a flashback of somebody saying an insulting comment to you, and it's hard for you to continue to do what is authentically you when you fear that you're going to be judged just as you were when you did it before the last time, or when you were younger. So it's definitely a struggle sometimes, but I can say at this current moment in my life right now, it isn't a struggle because I don't have people around me who don't allow me to walk in my purpose. I don't have people around me who call me weird. I don't have people around me who want to criticize what it is that I'm doing in a negative way, to the point that I start to question myself. So I struggle less, I should say. I struggle less, but I would say the hardest part is overcoming imposter syndrome. And I believe that's just myself being stuck in my own head and thinking about what somebody may say, when the only thing I need to think about is, what do I believe? What am I going to say? So that's the only thing I need to be worried about. At this point in my life, I'm 28 years old. So it's just like, are we still on high school mean girl bully, vibes, or are we grown ass women and we are living in our true purpose? And I'm a grown ass woman. I'm living in my true purpose. And that's just what I have to do.
I love what you said, because that's also a point that I wanted to get to. But what do you practice on a daily to enable you to continue to walk in that? Because everything won't always be perfect. You won't while we have our tribe and our support and our community. Being an entrepreneur, you're going to meet so many different types of people, and you're going to have people that don't mesh, or that try to tell you, who do you think you are? Or, just don't rock with you. So in those instances, what do you practice daily to make sure that in those instances where if it happens, you are empowered to be your authentic self?
On a daily basis, I check in with myself. I do journal. If not every day, every other day, I journal. I have also started doing a video vlog of how I'm feeling, the things that I'm feeling, and things of that nature with my camera. And I've been like just talking to myself versus talking to my boyfriend or talking to a family member or a friend, because at the end of the day, it's you and you. Like, you have to have you. You also have to have the best relationship with yourself, because you have to be your best person. Whatever the title is, you have to be that for yourself first in order for you to look for it in someone else. But also, in order for you to have a healthy relationship with someone else, you don't want to solely just depend on someone else being that person for you. Right. You want to depend on yourself to be that person for yourself, because this is your life. This is my life. I have to be in control of what is going on. I have to be in control of my thoughts. So every day on a daily basis, I journal and I vlog, and I have to remind myself and do daily affirmations that I am her, I am she, I am who I want to be. I am it all.
Ashe. Yes, yes. So similarly, I think I don't struggle so much in my identity. I think I know who I am. I think I have spent so much time with myself that it's hard. I can't avoid who I am anymore. I think between the times of 2020 to 2022 was me being okay with who I was, like me coming, like really getting out of that whole shame and like I feel like I have to hide these parts of me and I'm not allowed to show this part. It was a lot of like, okay, you know who you are now. Are you comfortable with who you are? It's time for you to comfortably walk in that. And that has not always been the easiest thing for me, especially, well, people think, well, what I do, that it would be, because I'm constantly guiding other people through via my voice or through body movement, whether it's by teaching yoga or guiding through meditation. But there's just, like you said, this imposter syndrome. And it's funny that you said that too, because I'm recently talking to another fellow yogi, and she said she now doesn't believe in imposter syndrome anymore because you can't be an imposter to yourself. So even that mind shift, I feel like, I'm like, okay, I need to tap into that, because I feel like I do suffer with imposter syndrome from time to time. So I said all that to say, I too have to do my daily affirmations. Affirmations are a huge thing for me. Journaling, huge thing for me. It's an everyday walk. I feel like, and it makes it easier when, like you said, majority of my people in my life they know who I am. They're not questioning who I am. I'm not having to prove constantly that I'm this person. I can authentically be, feel, experience whatever it is I need to, because at the end of the day, I feel supported by what I feel like is my tribe. And so that's why I feel like community is so important. That is why I feel like groups and communities like what we're doing right now is so important, because not everybody has that support within their immediate family. I can be honest and say that it maybe I can count on 3 fingers from my immediate family who I really trust to lean on like that. But a lot of my community has been from me walking in my purpose and authentically aligning with other people who were kind of doing the same thing. And I'm like, just super grateful for that. I feel like you came into my path kind of the same way. So yeah, it works that way. Tell me a little bit about what your community looks like, and how important it is for you to stay connected to your community.
I have family, but I don't have anyone that I talk to every single day. I don't have anyone that I honestly talk to every other day, because my family comes from a lot of brokenness. So it's about this amount of people that's really just trying to break the generational curse. I love my family to death, but sometimes you can't talk to your family. Like, you don't want them to discourage you by the things that they say. And then also, if you're trying to be on a positive path, your family don't mean no harm by bringing up gossip or doing whatever it is that they're doing. But it's just like, family or not, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Let's be better in all aspects. Like, let's just be better. I don't want to hear my other family members' business, because if I didn't hear it from them first, I don't need to hear it. So honestly, I don't have a personal community. I had my childhood best friend. I'm still struggling with trusting this relationship that we have mended 100%, because when that damage is done, it's hard to undo it. And for me, I'm really zero tolerant. Once you break that trust, that love from me like that, it's really hard for me to wholeheartedly just come back and act like nothing ever happened. So honestly, I don't have a personal community. I have my boyfriend, but then you have to realize you have to balance, like not really overloading your significant other with things like that. As far as community in general, the group when we did the retreat, but honestly, I haven't really talked to anyone really like on that deeper aspect level of things. I crave community. I would like a sense of gathering. I would like a sense of family, because all of my family is in Baltimore. I have my mother and my older sister here, but I don't talk to either one of them. And honestly, it's not just on some petty bullish. It's really me standing on a boundary that I cannot cross. I can't go back or anything like that. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's very. I want to say I don't think community is just defined one way, because people's personality types and are just so different. I know for me, I am not almost the most social person. When I am social, I'm very social. So I feel like I have different periods of like my life cycle, like as on a year-to-year basis, to where I feel like I really need to lean into community. And I feel like I really my walk, isolation is a big thing for me. I have God will literally tell me it's time to back up. It's time for you to go into hermit mode. It's time for you to, and sometimes I stay there too long. That's my problem. I stay there too long sometimes because I just get caught up. And sometimes, again, that imposter syndrome showing up fully can be scary, especially when you really know what you're capable of and you realize you're not really using your fullest potential. Like, that's the scary part. Like, if I really put my all into this, how could this go? Or it's all in my hands. I'm the one that's in control if it succeeds or if it fails. And that's a lot of pressure to have on yourself. I think that you craving community and being able to identify where it could be, but also being aware that right now you may not even feel the most comfortable trusting in that way again. And I think that that's very timely for what we even have going on astrologically. We're not going to get into all of that. I'm not an astrologer. I'm not a certified astrologer, but this is the year of Aquarius. Truths are being revealed so people can really be who they truly are with. And it's not just negative. I know we're quick to talk about Diddy and everything that's going on right now, but it's on both ends. It's people know, oh my God, that's really her, and then that's really not her. So I feel like now is the time to really focus in on self, because that is the most important relationship. Like you said before, anything else. You cannot show up for anybody else if you don't show up for self. When you show up for self fully, it makes it so much easier to show up for those around you fully. And that kind of falls in line with the law of attraction as well. And so I said all that to say I feel not pressure, but I do feel led to continue. Like, First Born Daughters was birthed from the desires like what you're speaking of now, starting with myself first. And I feel like once I started creating the community, that's when I was really able to identify who my support system was outside of what I do passionately. And for me, that looks a lot like people that I collaborate with. Like, we have a very special bond outside of just collaborating. And it didn't start just from collaborating. But needing wellness people normally have a hard time finding wellness spaces that they resonate with, where they feel like they're being poured into. So needing that and finding it in each other. So that's even an example of how being your authentic self allows the law of attraction to build you like your real tribe. And I feel like you currently are identifying that. It's not a bad thing to say that I can only identify 2 people. It's actually really you don't need a huge tribe. You just need to, know what I mean? So I think you're in a place of becoming, and I think that is beautiful. Again, just super grateful for you sharing that with us today. Our community is for all walks, wherever you are in your woman journey. We figure it out together here, we express it here, and we connect with who we connect with. So this is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yes. So to kind of just wrap it up, and I just want you to tell our listeners, Nya, something that maybe you would even tell yourself or anybody who may be struggling with walking as their true selves. Give them a nugget of love. What would you tell them? What would you write them in a letter? What would you write at the end of their journal note?
I would tell you to be patient with yourself. Mm-hmm. I would tell you to give yourself grace. I will also tell you to love where you are at in life at this moment. Like you said, Shawana, content is a positive thing. It's a difference between being content and being comfortable.
Or complacent. That's the word. Content, complacent.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. I couldn't think of it.
Because there's nothing wrong with beautifying your life in every stage that you are in right now. You're not going to know what exactly it is, what it's supposed to look like for you, because you have never done it before.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. You are creating your own story. Love yourself. Love on yourself hard. Be your first person. And continue going. Continue to keep going no matter how hard you feel like it may get. No matter how distant you get from whatever it is that you're trying to do. Remember to just get back to it gradually. Just get back to it.
I love it. I love it. I would tell myself or anybody else struggling through walking in their identity at this moment that there's nobody else better qualified to be you than you. Mm-hmm. There's no, you don't get honor or validation by being anything but yourself. Mm-hmm. If a part of the version of you that you're portraying is not who you truly are, and that person's receiving validation, you're not really receiving validation. That void is going to remain. Going to leave, it's not going to go anywhere when the people who are validating you are gone, and if you alone, you still have to the part of you that hasn't been fulfilled, and the only person that can validate that is you. So regardless of what it looks like or feels like, if you feel like you aren't arrived or where you want to be, yes, I would just encourage you to love you where you are. Mm-hmm. Understand that you are qualified to be who you are, whatever that looks like. Not the picture that anybody painted for you. What exactly. It looks like. As it is, you're deserving of love right now, and to walk as if you already know it, and as you believe it, because it's true. It is the truth. So that's what I would say. I probably needed to hear that more than anybody.
I needed to hear that one. There's nobody more qualified to be me than me.
Period. Again, Nya Perkins, Motions the podcast. Connect with her. We want to thank each and every listener for tuning in. Yes. Again, just giving gratefulness for Nya for being able to hop up here and just have this authentic conversation with me. I don't know how it'll be chopped and released yet, but it will be chopped and released. And yeah, guys, if you have topics, ideas that you want to share, feel free to message us, email, however it goes. We will catch you next time on the First Born Daughters podcast. Bye.